Hi. What are some lessons of prayer we can learn from Coco Gauff, who, when she won the US Open at the age of 19, talked about how prayer was very important for her sports life. She said, "I don't pray for results. I pray that I get the strength to give it my all. Whatever happens, I'm so blessed in this life." What do we see here? What we see here is she is not praying for results. Rather, she says, whatever happens, I am blessed. So this aspect of praying, where prayer is not about getting results, is a very important essence of prayer. Because sometimes our prayers can get very result focused. And when we do that, we miss the aspect of the relationship. We see this in the book of Daniel, where when Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego are thrown into the furnace with fire, they tell this to the king. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your mighty hand. And then there is an important statement. But even if he does not, so the result that they want is deliverance, but they say, even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. So what are they doing here? They're expecting a result. They want that result of being saved from the fire in the furnace. At the same time, they're not focusing on that result. But even if he does not, we will still serve him. So instead of focusing on the result, they are focusing on their relationship with God. That is a very important part of prayer. It's good to want to get results. It's good to want to have the outcomes we want, but the focus cannot be on results. The focus needs to be on the relationship. And why is this important? When we focus on results, oftentimes it causes us more anxiety. If we focus on results, then we put our identity into getting the result we want. If we don't get the result we want, then that affects our identity. Anytime we feel our identity is threatened by something, it causes anxiety. Any threat to our identity will cause us to be anxious. If you have your identity as somebody who does super well at work and is appreciated by everyone at work, then if you have a sense of threat that somebody may come and question you and that may make you look bad in front of other people, that will cause anxiety. Because when we focus on results as a way of getting our identity, then it causes anxiety. On the other hand, when we focus on the relationship, that is what gives us peace. And that's what we see with Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. When they are in Babylon, in spite of being about to be thrown into the furnace, they have peace when they talk to the king. And that peace is something they get because they are not result focused, but are relationship focused. And we see this with Coco Gauff as well. This is why she says, "I don't pray for results. Whatever happens, I'm blessed," because the point of prayer is the relationship with God and the peace that comes from that. So where is Coco getting this deep sense of faith and prayer? It is from her father. In fact, she says Corey and his daughter pray together before every match. And they say, not for a win, but for continued good health for both players. And again, what is she getting from this relationship that she has with her own father? It is not the results that matter, but the relationship. This is very important because the relationships around us shape our values. And that is why the relationship that a parent has to a child as they are growing up is very important in shaping the value of their faith. And with Coco Gauff, we see this even in the relationship that she has with the community of the church. In fact, she says, after losing round 1 in Wimbledon, it was a tough situation. A lot of prayer, a lot of support from my church family. Thank you to him and those who support me. What do we see here? Even when she loses, she does not get the result that she wants. She still has that gratitude because of the prayer support that she gets from the relationships in the church community. So this is another place we see that the relationship prioritized over a result makes us grateful and gives us the courage to face disappointments and have that sense of peace instead of being anxious that we didn't get the result that we want. And that is where the relationship focus makes us resilient. She goes on to say, honestly, thank you to the people who didn't believe in me, especially when she lost in Wimbledon. Those who thought they were putting water on my fire, you really were adding gas to it. And I'm burning so bright now. Her relationship focus made her resilient. That even when people criticized her, they thought that she was not good enough, it didn't bother her. Why? Because she was not result focused. Rather, she was relationship focused. And that is where her strength, her resilience to come back from what is seen as failure shows up. And that comes ultimately from her prayer life. So that is a big lesson that Coco Gauff teaches us in terms of how can we make our prayer life not just result focused, but rather relationship oriented. How can we make our prayer life in such a way that it doesn't become about this identity that we are trying to seek with this result that we want to get, which ultimately just makes us anxious. Rather, focusing our prayer life on the relationship with God so that we have His peace. And that is what Jesus promises in John 14, where He says, I give you peace in a way that the world cannot give you peace. So, that's the lesson of prayer that we get from Coco Gauff. Even as we enjoy her continuing her stellar career in tennis, may it also be a reminder to us that our prayer needs to be focused on the relationship with God and not just the results that we can get from that. If you like what I said, please hit like, subscribe to my channel. Until I see you in another video, bye for now.